Potential top 3 pick Jalen Green is best known as a high-flying, bucket-getting, internet sensation. Green has the potential scoring chops of the Bradley Beal and Zach LaVines of the world, and often, that tough shot-making ability tends to lead to a reputation of one-way chuckery. That isn't the case for Jalen Green. What makes Jalen a potential star is his willingness to compete on both sides of the ball. Jalen bypassed college and took on the challenge of defending professionals, and he more than held his own. In this film session spin-off, we'll take an in-depth look at Green's ability, both good and bad, on the other side of the ball. And to start off, this clip really shows off Jalen's ability to move defensively and his competitiveness on that end. He's shadowing Briscoe in the paint and forces the kick out and reset with only 11 seconds on the shot clock. He gets deep in his stance, takes away the middle, gets back in front of his man on the snake, and forces an off-balance mid-range fade. The only gripe is he'd love to see him get a hand up on the tough shot he forced his man into. We see again here, Jalen's focus on the ball, steps up, shades him left, and forces the ball handler to pick up his dribble. Slight bite on the pump fake, but not bad enough that he can't smoothly recover and get into the help position on the kick. Jalen finishes the possession off, denying the DHO attempt, forcing another kick out with less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now, Jalen Green is one of the best athletes that you'll find in any draft, and it isn't just about his running and jumping. Green's ability to move stride for stride with the ball handler, stop on a dime, and elevate for shot contests make it hard for any shot creator to get off clean looks. A lot of young defenders, especially those with bounce, want to jump on pump fakes, but Jalen does an excellent job here of staying disciplined and staying on his feet, forcing his man into a tough, off-balance, highly contested fall-away. Nothing fancy on this possession, just Jalen deep in a defensive stance and timing a shot contest perfectly to get right in the shooter's face. Now, one of the staples of the Ignite's defensive principles was that they look to ice ball handlers, meaning they want to force them towards the sideline away from the middle of the floor. Jalen did a great job this season doing just that. He's forcing the ball handler towards the sideline with his stance and pushing him right into the help, forcing the kick out. Again, we see those no-middle principles as Jalen steps up to take away the screen and force the ball handler left towards the sideline. He again brings him right to the help, leading to a bad pass turnover. Now, Jalen wasn't perfect on every possession. Starts the possession off with a nice dig at the nail one pass away. Jalen gets over the screen but opens his defensive stance and allows the ball handler to dictate which direction to drive and gets beat middle, leading to a dump-off layup. But a defensive possession later, Green steps up with a nice aggressive step over the screen to prevent the DHO and take away the middle, forces him sideline to his weak hand, and ultimately a kick out up top to restart the possession. Next clip, we see Jalen pin his man in the corner, allowing him only to penetrate one way, a baseline drive directly into the help at the rim where Kuminga does a great job protecting the hoop, forcing an awkward fading layup. I love this possession from Jalen. He is right in his man's shirt and in position to force the ball handler only one way, and that's baseline, directly into the help. He even gets the poke away from behind, forcing the turnover. Now, Jalen does give up middle here because he gives the ball handler some room to get a head start, but Jalen shows off that wiry strength, taking the momentum bump and then using that length and athleticism to force an air ball on the drop step hook. This possession demonstrates why the Ignite wanted to prevent middle penetration. Jalen just gets beat, and it leads to the layup. One of the things that stands out with Jalen Green defensively are his active hands. This quick possession in semi-transition shows us a glimpse of Jalen's length and anticipation as he patiently stays on the ball handler's back without being overly aggressive and fouling. But as soon as the ball handler leaves his feet, Jalen uses that quick jump and length to deflect the pass and force the turnover. More of those quick hands here. Jalen's a little high, in help, but he's still able to get the strip and turn defense into potential offense. And defense to offense is a constant theme for Jalen. Jalen has another great on-ball possession here and shows his ability to seamlessly switch on the perimeter. Now, he isn't in the best position off-ball as he should be splitting the weak side in preparation for an X-out, but it doesn't hurt him here as he's able to get into a great defensive stance on the swing. Jalen then beats his man to the spot twice, forcing the turnover, and then finishes on the other end as the defense gets lost getting back. Next possession, we see Jalen rim run to protect the hoop, and then show off some toughness and a glimpse of his ability to potentially guard up. Again, displaying just a beautifully executed full extension shot contest, blocking the big in the post, and then showing off how devastating he'll be in the open court. Let's see a little more defense to offense action. He leads his man away from the middle again, forcing the turnover as he leads his man into the help. He recovers the loose ball and makes a great pass to the rim running big, who botches the freebie. That's an assist at the next level. Now off the ball, Jalen is going to thrive in those passing lanes where he can look like a cornerback moving in for a pick six, getting up the floor like a gazelle. And finally, we get SLC moving the ball up the floor in a hurry. Jalen's in great position on the skip to dig at the driver and then show his active hands in those passing lanes, again, creating a defense to offense scenario that leads to an open three-point attempt for his teammate. Now we've seen the positives of what happens when Jalen gets in the passing lanes, but this is the downside. He initially does a good job positioning himself off ball on the weak side, but as he lifts as the ball moves, he gets a little overzealous and misses the steal, leading to an open lane and two off a big slam. But sometimes Jalen is athletic enough to recover on gambles. Jalen does a good job getting over the screen. He's a tad too aggressive going for the steal, but manages to stay hip to hip on the drive, allowing Kuminga to step up and help for the tough contested layup. And look, Jalen isn't perfect. He makes a rookie mistake here, going deep under the screen. But Briscoe is a 27% three-point shooter, so he just needs to make sure that even if he goes under, that he can still get a contest up. And look, Jalen is young and he's skinny. He's gonna need to put on NBA muscle, because he'll be getting screened by guys like Jokic and Gobert at the next level. He just gets hit hard with a screen here, allowing the ball handler to get downhill, and the poor weak side rotations lead to a wide open corner three. We again see Jalen struggle with a solid screen here. The ball handler does a good job rejecting the screen, and Jalen has to now recover. The ball handler then snakes the screen, and Jalen gets stuck on the big's backside, forcing the big to guard two and leading to the layup. And again, we see Jalen get stuck on a screen against the Swarm. He tries to go over and can't ever recover. The big never really makes the ball handler think, but Green needs to work harder to get back in the play here. But when Jalen can avoid the screen, you see how effortlessly he moves laterally, how tight he can stay on a ball handler's hip, and when you're playing in a drop scheme, these tough fall-away mid-range contested jump shots are exactly what you're trying to force. I don't want Jalen to have to consistently guard bigs on switches, but even here, switching onto the big, he's able to hold his own, and again, shows good anticipation with those active hands, deflecting the forced pass out of the double. Now we just saw Jalen do a good job guarding up, but this is what it looks like when it goes poorly. He just bounces off his much bigger man on the behind the back and then can't really ever recover to halt the penetration or get up a good shot contest. Off the ball, Jalen was hit or miss, but he showed improvements as the season went on and the game slowed down for him. A possession like this isn't going to look real fancy or jump out at you, but it demonstrates that Jalen knows where to be as he moves around the floor off the ball. He starts out guarding the screener and smoothly switches onto the ball handler, switches off ball again into good positioning in the corner, does a good job sliding over and tagging the cutter and closing off space at the elbow, leading to a strong mid-range contest by Todd. Again, nothing fancy here. Jalen gets 2 feet in the paint on the weak side to protect the basket on the roll, where he can get a hand on the ball, forcing a kick out to the perimeter. He then closes out strong and weaks his man to the baseline, forcing the ball handler right into the help. Next possession, we see Jalen get to the nail to help in case the ball handler goes middle. Gets a tag on the roll, helps prevent penetration with the dig after the kick out, and then gets a solid closeout. Stays on the cutter's hip, and the offense ends up scoring away from Jalen on a goaltend. While Jalen has made strides off the ball, every now and then he still rotates to the wrong man. But even in those instances, you still see some positives, like how he tagged the roll man at the nail. If he'd have X'd out to the corner right away, it would have been a great possession. In time, I fully expect him to make these rotations naturally. Now, this is one of those possessions that leads to his reputation off ball. Jalen starts out in good position on the weak side, he rotates to get 2 feet in the paint, and is in perfect position to just slide in and take a charge, but kinda hesitates to slide over and it's already too late. And the final area we'll look at defensively is chasing shooters. This is one of those areas where Jalen's slight frame hurts him a bit. Just a slight second behind is all shooters need at the NBA level, and the shooter buries the J. And this next possession is a learning moment. Same scenario a couple minutes later, and Jalen tries to shoot the gap to avoid the screen, and the shooter flares out and buries another jumper. Jalen isn't going to affect the game the same way Evan Mobley does on the defensive side of the ball, but that's okay. Wings just don't have that same impact. The offense won't ever be in question, but Jalen wants to play both sides. He wants to compete. He wants to be a dynamic two-way player. And with his work ethic and drive, I'm not betting against it.